What up? What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm MoedotJ and we're locked in. This is episode 3 of the 6-day recap of Supacell on Netflix, and episode 3 is entitled Sabrina. Now, we already had Michael, we had Taser, and now we're going to go down Sabrina's life and see what power she has and how it's affecting her on her day-to-day basis. Because right now, Michael, he's trying to find everyone and bring them together. So before we jump into this and we break down Supacell, if you like superhero type movies, TV shows, if you like these breakdowns of Supacell, then hit your subscribe button and turn your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Make sure you hit that like button, and I'm on that road to 50,000 subscribers. We need about 100 people, and we'll hit that mark. So use your superpowers and hit that subscribe button. Now let's go ahead and jump into it. Episode 3, Sabrina. Episode 3 picks up right at the park. And this crew that showed up in the G-Wagons, well, it was the OG mentor, Crazy. And now they're trying to figure out who actually robbed Crazy, because we know Taser went into the back of the Rover, took the dope, switched it out with some powder, and guess what? Now they got to pay for it. But since the young boy is the one that set it up, he's supposed to fight. But of course, Taser is being the leader of the crew. He tells, listen, Crazy, I'll fight 1v1. And if we win, y'all get out of here and don't do nothing. But we didn't steal that work. All right. They get to fighting. Boom, boom, boom. At first, it looks like Taser, they about to get the best of them. You got to remember, this crew, Crazy, they're older than them. They were the OGs. They were the mentors. They're the ones with all the drugs. The Utes, Taser and his crew, they're just all back. But one thing about Taser, he has a lot of heart. So they get to fighting, and he ends up switching, and he's winning. I'm talking about beating them bad. Bow, 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 bow. Everybody going crazy. Then out of nowhere, Crazy shoots a gun in the air to stop all of the commotion. After the Tower Boys get to celebrating, another gunshot goes off, and a young boy, Tiny, gets shot in the back. So now everyone's looking at Crazy. Why would you do that? And he says Tiny should have been the one fighting. If he would have fought, we would have just left it at that. But since Taser jumped in and beat up his mans, he shot Tiny in the back, and he told him, don't let me find out you had something to do with my drugs being stolen. At the house, Michael and Dion are talking. Now, listen, what would you do if you just started teleporting out of nowhere? Now you're going back in time and you're hearing all of this stuff that on July 9th, your girl, she's going to be unalived. What would you do? Well, he's sitting at the house and Dion's just making sure he's all right. But what he's going to do is take the day off, get some time to recruit, some me time, and he's practicing teleporting in the room, seeing if he can control this, because that's his number one priority, especially hearing that he knows his girl is going to be dead on July 9th. Dion is a social worker, and it turns out she's actually going to Taser's house. Now, remember, Taser lives with his grandma, and his mother was the woman in the first episode that we seen unalive. Now, she's been missing for a while, and when she gets there to talk to Taser's grandmother, Kima, she's saying, listen, the mother's been gone for a while. We don't know where she's at. It's troublesome over here for the kids. She had sickle cell and she's nowhere to be around. So we're starting to link everyone in the show. Their family members have sickle cell, and through this is transferred down through the genetics. And of course, we know sickle cell affects the Black community more than it does anyone else. So the mother was the one that was unalive, and we seen that she had power. So now it makes sense of why Taser can disappear. Sabrina's still trying to figure out what's wrong with herself, so she uses her free health care and goes to get an MRI. The only thing is the doctor tells her there is nothing wrong with your brain, it's not abnormal or nothing. But she's still shocked because she knows that she's able to move some things, maybe with her mind, so she's thinking the brain might be the first thing. But as we were mentioning, the sickle cell just runs down through the bloodline, and this is where the superpowers are coming from. But she went to get checked up, and at this point, there is nothing wrong with her. She's still worried, though, as you would be. Now, in the States, we don't have money to just get MRIs, but over in the UK, hey, that 18% tax they take out throughout the year, that'll get you there. Now, she goes back to work, but it's like she has a lot on her mind, and you know how that can be. You're trying to figure stuff out. You got to get your work done. Well, she's over here. She's messing up. She's supposed to be drawing some blood. She's messing up on the old man. He wants her out of there. Well, once that anger starts to build up after she walks off because of frustration, well, she ends up knocking stuff off the wall, and everyone's like, whoa, what the hell just happened? And then Sabrina just walks out of here. That's the thing. No one can control their powers at this point. After she talks to her patient, her favorite patient, she leaves. She's losing it. She was supposed to give her some medicine and almost OD'd the old lady. So she runs out the hospital. And she's not focused. She's not paying attention to anything. And she almost gets hit by a car when she walks across the street without looking. Always look left in the UK, not right. Look left first. But before she walks off the sidewalk, Andre stops her and he grabs her and he's like, "Whoa, are you okay? You almost got hit by a car." But she's not trying to talk to anybody and she storms off. Taser and the Tower Boys, they go visit Tiny in the hospital. It's not looking too good for him. The only thing we can say is he's still alive. Well, Taser is feeling bad for himself. And remember, he told Tiny he got him. So once the Tower Boys get outside, they're all talking about it. And Taser, he's feeling bad. He's feeling bad. But his boys are telling him, "Man, it ain't your fault. Crazy did this. And I know he was like a brother to you, but it's not your fault." So it's at this moment, Taser says, "You guys are my brother. Crazy ain't my brother. And we ain't stopping until we can figure out a way to get them up off the streets and we can get even for what happened to Tiny." Michael's still trying to get his mother into this sickle cell treatment. Now, she's looking at it and she's thinking it's very expensive. But when it comes to your health, hey, you got to do what you got to do. Now, this is going to be an outside source, so he has to pay for it. And he's trying to tell his mother he has the money. So he's stacking up to try to make this happen. He just got a car for him and Dion. They just got a house. He's trying to get married. He also knows that there's a death date. It's a lot going on, but saving your mother is one of the priorities. AJ and Andre, they're doing pretty good. Remember, Andre got that money for when he broke into the ATM. Well, they're out having a conversation. They're just talking about how life has changed and what's moving forward. When they get back to their flat, you remember the crew, Crazy's crew, they're sitting outside and they're still trying to talk to AJ. AJ's like, "What's up, y'all?" Well, after AJ goes in the house, Andre goes down there and tells them, "Listen, y'all leave my son alone. I don't want him going down the path y'all going down. I don't care what y'all got going on, but leave my son out of all of this nonsense." Now, this crew, they have guns on them. It's rare in the UK that people have guns. So when you see them with them, they trying to use them. But Andre, being that father that he is, he ain't backing down. Michael's been trying to get in touch with Taser. He's been texting and calling Taser's homeboy, but he never answers. So he decides to just go sit on their block, wait for the Tower Boys to get back. Once he sees Taser and the Tower Boys, he goes over there. And they're like, "Hey, nah, you can't talk to Taser." He teleports right in front of him. Now, of course, Taser ain't about to stand down to nobody. His eyes light up and he looks at him and he realizes, "Wait, you're just like me." So Michael's like, "Listen, I need to talk to you. I need your help." Because remember, Michael has that list and he needs to find Sabrina, Rod, Andre, and Taser. Because one person can't do this alone. He needs everybody. Now, Rod, he's still learning how to use his speed. And he's probably one of the most efficient people right now. He's learning faster than everyone else. Well, obviously, because he's the fast one. Well, he's showing his boy Spud. And he's like, "Dang, man, you fast as hell." But Rod, he's thinking about using his powers for something else. Remember, he sells a little bit of weed. Well, he comes up with an idea. We can sell our weed. And if we get it to you in over 5 minutes, it's free because he'll sprint to you, sell it to you, and get back. So he runs around the room and he's showing off how fast he is. And then he ends up knocking his head because he falls through a table. Turns out not only is Rod fast, Rod can heal. Michael's still trying to find Rod. He's looking around. He knows there's someone that sells drugs that could have a power. So he's asking around and he needs this number. We found out where Taser is. We aren't sure where everybody else is at, but he does remember there was some guy that sold some weed. He's talking about Rod. So he ends up getting this number and now he's trying to contact him because he wants to set up a meet with Rod. It turns out the gentleman that Shar was always talking about that was in jail that loved her so much, it was Crazy. Well, he shows up to the house and no one knew he was out, but he's been out for a couple of days. And he gets back in Shark's good graces by giving her a watch. But Sabrina doesn't want anything to do with her. Now remember, they were supposed to go out tonight after the MRI, but Sabrina didn't want to go. Now Crazy ends up leaving the house, but Sabrina isn't done with him. She goes over to the truck and she tells him, "Don't act like I forgot what you did to my sister. If you ever put your hands on her again, I'ma get you. I'ma take you out." So now Sabrina decides to go out because she doesn't want her sister to be involved one-on-one with Crazy. Taser goes back to talk to Tiny just to see how he is because he's still fucked up about it. Now Tiny is making jokes. He's like, "Man, I could have whooped him if I would have fought him." But Taser ain't come here for all of that. He wanted to make sure that Tiny was good, and he lets him know, "Listen, I'm gonna go get Crazy for this. Don't even worry about it." And then he disappears and he leaves because his number one mission is to go and get Crazy to get even. Andre started to discover his strength and how to harness it. So he goes to this old junkyard, and while he's in there, he's tearing doors off of cars. He's bending pipes. He's like, "Damn, I'm strong as hell. I ain't gonna lie to you." Well, he ends up calling up his homeboy John. He's like, "John, meet me at this location right now." So John shows up. I don't know how he got in here, but he gets in and then he's parked and he's looking around. "Andre, answer your phone. Where you at?" And out of nowhere, we see Andre lifting up the car, showing, "Hey, I got super strength, brother. Super strength." Rod's using his superpowers to start selling this weed, and he's getting all through the city. Hey, 5 minutes or less, or you get it for free. He's making moves in and out, in and out. He get a phone call, he answers it. He takes that phone call, he meets him. He gets that money, he gets back, and the cycle repeats. Sabrina ends up going out with her sister. And you remember her boyfriend, or her ex-boyfriend, Kevin? She sees him at the bar and she goes to talk to him. He's like, "Listen, whatever you did that night, I'm okay with it. Just stay away from me." Now, we do get introduced to somebody else that her sister is talking to, but she's looking at him like, I don't know if you should be talking to him. But this guy, he got the grill, and they hitting it off. They at the club. Rod ends up responding back to Mike when he texted him to say he was looking for some marijuana. So he said, "All right, we can meet up." But when they meet up, before Michael can get there, someone comes out of this portal, and it's a guy with a mask on and a hood on, all black, with fire in his hand. Now it looks like Rod then ran out of his powers. He's drained his powers. So when he gets ready to throw this fireball at him, luckily Mike is there. He teleports. He gets Rod, and then he teleports Rod up out the way so they don't get hit. Mike teleports him and Rod to his homeboy's bar. Now, there is some drunk people in the club that seen him and said, "Hey, did you see that?" But they're too drunk. His friend doesn't believe it either. They go into the back room and talk. Rod's like, "What is that?" And Mike is saying, "Man, whoever it is or whatever it is, they're trying to get us. So me and you, we need to be linked up. We need to try to figure something out together. And there's also 3 other people we have to find." Now, remember, this is the club that Sabrina is in also, but her sister is out kissing some guy in the back alley. When Sabrina finds her sister, it looks like this guy was trying to take advantage of her. And it turns out this guy also has powers. His eyes light up, he lifts up into the air, and Sabrina, they try to run off. But before they can run off, this guy, he can fly. He tries to attack him, but Sabrina's eyes light up and she swings her hand to the left and she throws this guy with the force into a wall. He collapses. And when she checks to see if he has a pulse, well, it looks like he's a done deal. She done knocked him out so bad she killed this man. So of course, Shar, she's saying, "We need to get out of here." So after she checks the pulse, because she's a nurse, she just sprints off. They get up out of here. And Sabrina, she's starting to realize that her powers, they can come in handy. All right, there you go. The recap of episode 3, Sabrina. Right now, Michael is getting the crews together. Sabrina is starting to find out a little more about herself. And we see that Crazy is really connected to a lot of characters in this show. And he's about to become the real villain of Supacell. Now, let me know what you think. Who's your favorite character so far? Andre, Michael, Rod, Taser, Sabrina, and whose power would you want? I'm MoedotJ. If you like this kind of content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tune in tomorrow for the episode 4 recap of Supacell. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.